guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have an exciting video for you. I've wanted to do this one for a little while. It's a full face of Beauty Counter. I am a Beauty Counter consultant, so I do have quite a lot of their makeup. There are a few things that I do not have though, and I was gonna place a Beauty Counter order before I filmed this video, but since we are kind of in uncertain times right now with this horrible virus that's going around, I have decided that I'm going to try and avoid doing any purchases that are not essential at the moment, just to sort of keep our shipping and post offices free from that kind of thing. However, I was like, you know what, I'm still gonna film this video. I'm just gonna use what I have. And I think that's kind of fun to do sometimes, is to use products in an unconventional way. So for the most part, I do have a full face of Beauty Counter. I think the only thing that I'm going to use differently would be I'm gonna use an eyeshadow as a highlight because I do not own a highlight. And then I do want to show you also my Beauty Counter wish list, because I think that's kind of fun to kind of talk a little bit about some of the products that I do want to purchase in the future and that have caught my eye. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get into the makeup look, and I'm going to show my Beauty Counter wish list at the end of the video. All right guys, so I'm gonna start with my Beauty Counter skin prep. I use Beauty Counter all the time for my skincare. It's really the only brand that I use because it just works so well for me. So I'm going to start with the hydra-gel radiance toner, and how I like to use this is just pumping a little bit in my hand, and I just apply it with my fingers. It's less wasteful. I don't have to use little cotton pads all the time. And I use a lot less product. I find this just really helps my other skincare absorb well, and it balances my skin after cleansing. Next, I am going in with the Beauty Counter Countermatch Hydrating Serum. This one has 3 types of hyaluronic acid. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I love hyaluronic acid. It's one of my favorite ingredients. I get a lot of surface dehydration, and so I just find that this really helps plump out any of those fine lines, and it also helps with any like dry, flaky skin on the surface. And then I am going to go in with the Beauty Counter Countermatch Adaptive Moisture Lotion. Next, I am going to go in with the Countermatch Under Eye Cream, and I use a half a pump, just a tiny little dot for both eyes. And I take it over my eyebrows too. I don't usually put it on my lid right before I'm gonna do makeup. And last but not least, the Beauty Counter Calendula lip balm, just to prep my lips. And I like that to sit for a little bit before we do any lip product. I'm going to go in first with the Dew Skin. I like to use this as my primer. It has an SPF 20 in it, and I just find that it just gives a really nice base before my foundation. And I do love that it has that bit of sun protection. So I usually do like not a full pump, like a little bit more than a half a pump. And I like to apply this with my fingertips. Now, some of you might know I have a very oily skin type, yet I still love Dew Skin. It just gives such a nice, fresh look to the skin, and I find that it stays on well even though I'm oily. And I really wore this as the only product on my complexion most of the time when I was in Jamaica in January, and I just find that it stays on so well. And I was sweaty and oily and swimming, not underwater though. I'm gonna go in with Tint Skin. So this is the Beauty Counter foundation. I wear the shade Linen, and I can pretty much make this work for me summer, winter. I don't get that much color, so sometimes I'll just add a little bit of a darker Dew Skin underneath to kind of pump up the color a little bit, or I can mix it in. But I absolutely love this product. It has hyaluronic acid in it. So I'm just gonna put, mine's almost finished. I have more redness over on this side of my face. I have a little bit of rosacea there. It showed up when I was pregnant with my first son, and it never really went away. And then it flared up again, worse, when I had my second son, so I'm just dealing with it at this point. Now I'm going to go in with the Beauty Counter Touch-Up Concealer Pen. I wear the shade Light. I like to blend my concealer in with my fingers under my eyes. You can see how much brightness this concealer gives. It's just beautiful. It's not a full coverage, it's more of a medium coverage concealer, but I like that for day to day. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more concealer on the area where I have rosacea, just for a little extra coverage. A little bit of scarring from blemishes that are healing. Now, the one thing I don't have currently from Beauty Counter is their setting powder. It's definitely on my wish list, but I'm just gonna set all of my makeup today with the RMS Tinted Unpowder, because that's the setting powder I have at the moment. See how glowy this foundation is. It's so pretty. The combination of the Dew Skin and the Tint Skin, I just love it. So I'm now going to go in with the Beauty Counter Radiant All Over Bronzer in the shade Dune. And I'm just gonna be putting this on with a fluffy all over face brush. I have a slim face, so I don't like to overly contour. I kind of like to just add like a sun-kissed glow to my skin. I don't need a whole lot of chiseling. The only place I like to really contour is my nose. Do that in a minute. as well. And then I'm just gonna use a smaller, this brush comes to a nice defined tip, so I just like to use that to contour my nose. And now I'm gonna go in with some blush. This is my favorite shade from Beautycounter. It's called Guava, and it's a cool toned pink. It's so beautiful. I love this blush shade for all year round, but spring and summer, it is just so, so pretty. For highlighter, what I'm gonna use is actually the shade Candlelight. And this is a beautiful, beautiful, champagne toned eyeshadow, and it works so nicely for a highlighter. So I'm just gonna dip my highlight brush into there, pop this on the high points of the face. So I have two products from Beautycounter for brows. I have their Color Define pencil in dark, and then I have the Beautycounter brow gel as well in dark. So I use these together, and first I'm just going to brush up my brows. I have decently full brows, but I like to go just underneath here. I draw like a soft line, and then I do a line above as well, right here. Then I pull down, a few strokes down through the brow, and a few strokes up this way through the brow. And then I take my spoolie on the other end, and I just comb upwards so it really removes that harsh line that I drew. And then I do the same up here and remove that harsh line that I drew. So you can just see my brow is nicely defined now, but it's not too bold. And I do the same on the other side. And then I'm gonna go in with the brow gel. It's just got this tiny little spoolie. And I'm just gonna comb that through. Gives a little extra definition. I like a really fluffy, kind of undone brow look. So I just comb that up and through. And now we're gonna get into the eyeshadow look. So I'm gonna start with my Touch Up Concealer Pen as my eyelid primer. And I'm gonna be using two palettes today. So I'm gonna use the Beautycounter Romantic palette and also the Beautycounter Classic palette. So we're gonna go in first with Brulee. That's gonna be our transition shade. Then I'm gonna dip into this shade called Sable, and that is in the Classic palette. I can hear Willow outside my bedroom door. I closed the door because the boys are playing downstairs and they're always super loud. And then what I'm gonna do is go in with this shade down here called Flush. It looks really light in the palette, but it has a kind of violet tone to it, so it's gonna look really pretty, and I'm gonna place that on the lid. So like kind of the inner corner of the lid, and actually the inner corner as well, right here. And then I'm gonna go back in with Brulee, the crease shade that I used, and I'm just gonna get everything a little more blended. I'm gonna use my Cover FX, the High Performance Setting Spray, and I'm just gonna spritz my brush and dip back into the shade Flush, and then really just press that onto the center of the lid. And then I'm gonna go back in with the shade Sable again, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of that to the outer corner just to deepen it up again. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take that little brush that I put Flush on. It's still got a little bit, it's slightly damp. I'm gonna dip into Truffle, one of my favorite taupey shades to use, and I'm gonna put this on the lower lash line. And it's got a slight sort of purpley tone to it as well, so I just feel like this ties into the look really well. I'm gonna pop on some mascara. I don't have the Beauty Counter one right now. I have had it in the past. Honestly, it's not my favorite mascara. I think there's other mascaras out there that are definitely more popular. So yeah, I'm just gonna put on my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes right now. I have a bunch of these. I'm trying to use them up before I switch to something clean. But yeah, I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. All right guys, so this is the finished look. I did pop on some mascara and I did pop on a lip as well. I'll just show you what I used. This is the Mineral Fusion lip liner in the shade Elegant. Beauty Counter does not carry lip liners and I do like to have one. This is the Color Intense lipstick in the shade Backstage, and it is just a really pretty nude, like kind of peachy nude. Really nice for spring. And then I just topped it with the Beauty Counter Rosewood lip gloss. All right, and I do want to show you guys what's on my wish list, so we're gonna get into that next. All right guys, so the first thing on my Beauty Counter wish list is the Luminous Powder Highlighter in the shade Halo. It's just a really beautiful champagne colored powder highlight. The other thing that I really want is since it's coming up to summer, I do like to use a lot of creamy type products. So I really want to try out the Illuminating Cream Highlighter in Pearl Glow. That one almost looks like pearly, but like slightly pink undertoned. Not quite as champagne as Halo. And then I also want to try the it's called the Illuminating Cream Highlighter in Bronze Glow. So I want to use that as my bronzer. And then I want to try the Color Pinch Cream Blusher in the shade Caramel because it's a nice, more nude toned blush. Beauty Counter does not carry a nice nude in their powder blushes, so I really want to give that one a go. I've heard some really great things about it, and I'm excited to try that in the future. And then the other product that I mentioned in the video that I would love to try is the mattifying powder, because currently I am using the RMS powder, the unpowder, but I do love it, but I do want to try the Beauty Counter one because I hear that it's amazing. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for what's on my Beauty Counter wish list currently. I'm sure there will be more product. Like I said, I use all of their skincare, so I'm starting to run low on a couple things, so I'm gonna need to repurchase some of my skincare. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any questions for me, and if you could subscribe to my channel, I would love that and appreciate it. I'm still such a new little channel here on YouTube, so any subscribers that I get really just make me do a little happy dance. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.